What up, YouTube? T-Movies here with the new Joseph Gordon-Levitt film titled 7500 out now on Amazon. Since it is a airplane feature film, I decided to go ahead and do my top 10 favorite airplane movies because I never really fully been I've been in an airplane only once, but I do have a fear of flying. I don't know, just flying is just never sit right with me. I'm just more of a guy who likes staying on the road. But there are some pretty cool airplane-based movies that are really cool to watch. So, with that being said, here are my top 10 favorite airplane movies. Uh, co- coming in at number 10, I'm going to go with this Wes Craven film titled Red Eye. Now, Red Eye is awesome. It's where this hotel manager named Lisa Resser, played by Rachel McAdams, who's flying back home when she ends up meeting this charming guy named Jackson Ripner, played by Cillian Murphy, and she ends up meeting him at check-in, and so she thinks that it is luck that they're staying together, but she starts soon finds out that he's a very creepazoid and he's hopes to assassinate the head of home security. So, and he also needs Lisa to reassign the official room number at her hotel. He also has kidnapped her father, played by Brian Cox. Red Eye will. It's a really decent cat and mouse game. This film will leave you guessing from beginning to end. Rachel McAdams and Cillian Murphy were both really decent in this. If you guys never really seen Red Eye, it's really decent. I mean, Wes Craven did a really cool job with this. It's a horror, suspenseful, like a very Hitchcockian thriller. Really decent flick if you guys ever seen Red Eye. Alright. Coming in at number 9, I'm going to go with the film Sully. Now, this film stars Tom Hanks as Captain Sully Sullenberger. And so, and of course, this is a film that's directed by Clint Eastwood. And if you guys don't really know much about the story of Sullenberg, he ended up becoming a national hero by landing in New York's Hudson River after U.S. Airways Flight 1549 striked a flock of geese, and all the 155 passengers and crew ended up surviving the landing, and it's a really decent one. Tom Hanks as Sully was perfect casting. You had Clint Eastwood directing. He did a pretty decent job. Aaron Eckhart was pretty decent in this. You also had who else was in this? I believe Laura Linney was in this one. The plane scene was pretty intense. And there was even like and not to mention Sully ended up facing investigation that ended up trying to destroy his career. So there was like a investigation thing if he was probably also the cause of the crash, which I don't understand how could be the cause of the crash when you see like flock of geese all around. But that aside, Sully was a really decent one. It does not really get talked about a whole lot, really. I mean, it got released in 2016, and it didn't even get any Oscar love. Like, Tom Hanks did not get no love, because I heard he was great. I mean, when Tom Hanks plays a real-life person, you know it's going to be awesome. And yeah. I thought Hanks did such a great job with this. If you guys, yeah, definitely go check out Sully if you guys haven't seen it. Alright. Alright, coming in at number 8, I'm going to go with the Denzel Washington film Flight. Now, this is directed by Robert Zemeckis, and it got released in 2012. And it's about this, airline pilot named Whit Wigger, played by Denzel, who has a addiction with drugs and alcohol, and somehow he's still able to, keep his pilot license. And he ends up running out of luck when his plane ends up malfunctioning, saying his plane hurling towards the ground, and so there's also a investigation to expose his addiction and try and just also try to get his airplane pilot license revoked. Flight is terrific. I mean, it scored a Best Actor nomination for Denzel Washington, a well-deserving nomination because I thought Denzel was remarkable in this film. You know, you also had John Goodman. He did a really decent job. You have a few other folks in this, like Don Cheadle had a part in this. Uh, who else? Oh yeah, Melissa Leo was in this. Yeah, if you guys never really seen Flight, the airplane scene was pretty intense to watch, but it's a really decent one. I mean, one of Denzel's like best performances. Yeah, again, he's Denzel. He's always the best. But yeah, definitely go check out Flight if you guys never seen it. Okay, now number 7, I was really, debating on. And I was a little debating on whether to even add this film in my list. I mean, it's a good film, but the subject matter is not really. It's very. The subject matter of this film is very tragic, and obviously it is based on a very tragic true story that happened years ago. All right, number 7. I'm gonna go. It's a good film, so I decided to put it anyway. But like I said, the subject matter is very. This is a very hard film to watch. Number 7, I'm gonna go with United 93. Okay, now if you guys don't really know the story of United 93, this is the story of the takeoff and hijacking of United Airlines Flight 93 by terrorists, and of course, Flight 93 was the plane that was, of course, one of the planes that had been steered into the World Trade Center. So this is a film of this is a film about 9/11, and this is a really intense film to watch. I mean, it's directed by Paul Greengrass, who did a great job with directing this. I mean, it's a great film. Like, it's pretty decent, but this is a hard watch. It's not really a film you can really watch over and over again because it's not an easy watch because because of course it does tell the story of what happened on that fateful day, and that was granted I was very young when 9/11 happened, but man, I was pretty young, but I still remember when it happened. I was in the first grade when it happened, and I didn't really understand much about it at the time, but growing up, like getting older, you'll understand more and more about what happened on that fateful night. But man, this United 93 is still pretty decent one. It's just not really a film that's this most films that are good, but it's so hard to watch. Like you got Schindler's List, Detroit's one of them. United 93 could actually be up there. It's a really hard watch, but it's still pretty decent. I mean, you got Paul Greengrass did a pretty decent job at directing. So if you guys never really seen United 93, granted, it is a very hard watch, but I think you'll probably still enjoy it. But I'll say that give it a shot if you guys are interested in it. Alright, number 6. This is a doozy. I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. We all know what number 6 is. That is Snakes on a Plane. I mean, what type of animals do you not want to have on a plane? That type of animals are snakes. And that's what we get with this. Directed by the late David R. Ellis, R.I.P. David R. Ellis. Snakes on a Plane, starring Samuel L. Jackson, is straight up awesome. I mean, whoever knew that a film with snakes on a plane could actually work out perfectly, and it worked out good. I mean, for you guys don't really know much about the story, you got Sam Jackson who plays this FBI agent named Neville Flynn, who boards this flight from Hawaii to L.A., and so having escorting a witness to trial on You got an onboard assassin who releases a crave deadly serpents into attempt to kill the witness. But the snakes ends up, attacking the other passengers as well. And Sam Jackson's character also has to, try to, save everyone on board. This is straight up awesome. I actually still own the film. It's fun to watch. Uh, this is a really decent B movie territory. I mean, go check out Snakes on a Plane. Snakes on a Train. There's literally a movie called Snakes on a Train. That was from the Asylum, whatever that company's called. But Snakes on a Plane, it did not really get well received when it got released. But it actually, since the film's release, it became a cult classic. Like, fun fact, the film was actually supposed to be PG-13, but they decided to make it an R-rated because Sam Jackson wanted to use his iconic line. And we all know what that iconic line is. But, yeah, if you guys never really seen Snakes on a Plane by now, definitely go give it a shot. Snakes on a Plane is straight up awesome. It's still a shame we never got to see a sequel. I always wanted to see, like, another Snakes on a Plane film. Because Snakes on a Plane is just an awesome film to watch. So, anywho. Alright, coming in at number 5, I'm going to go with Martin Scorsese's film, The Aviator. Now, of course, this does star Leo DiCaprio as Howard Hughes, who's this, of course this, 20-something millionaire who's having, who has already made a fortune improving the design of the old drilling bits. And so he comes to Hollywood with an interest in getting into the picture business. And this film, and of course it takes place, during World War I. And so anyway, you also got Al Barton, who plays the head of Pan American Airlines here. You've got Alan Alda, who portrays Juan Trippe. You also had Kate Beckinsale as actress Ava Gardner. You had Kate Blanchett as Katharine Hepburn. You even had Gwen Stefani in this as Jean Harlow, who and of course, this is where he ends up founding his own airlines, which is the Trans World Airlines. And so, like, through his idea, he becomes his ideas ends up becoming very bolder, and his approach becomes more eccentric. And the airplane scenes were pretty cool to watch. A few other folks you had in this, you had Jude Law, John C. Reilly, William Dafoe. You even had the late Ian Holm. The Aviator is a really decent film. I mean, I do love many movies about old Hollywood, and this is a really cool one. If you guys haven't really seen The Aviator by now, definitely go give it a shot. I believe DiCaprio got an Oscar nomination for this, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong there, but yeah, definitely really decent. Scorsese flick. Really good film all around. All right, Snakes on a Plane is not the only awesome horror film that takes place on a plane. I guess I never consider Snakes on a Plane as a true horror. I prefer more like an action horror, but this is the true horror of a film that takes place on a plane. Number 4, I'm going to go with the first Final Destination. I mean, yeah, how could you not have Final Destination on this list? You've got Devon Sawa, who plays, Alex Browning, who ends up embarking on this trip to Paris. And he, of course, if you guys know the story, he ends up experiencing a premonition, and he ends up seeing that plane explodes moments after, leaving the ground, and he ends up insisting everyone to get off the plane, and of course, his prediction, like his vision, ends up coming true, and then death ends up coming after the other survivors, and you guys know the story. You guys know the Final Destination story by now. Someone sees something that happens. It turns out to be a vision, and then afterwards, people who end up surviving, get killed off one by one. Final Destination. Of course, this film actually took place, pre 9/11 air travel. So the air traveling is a little different of Final Destination. But man, Final Destination is still awesome to watch. Probably one of the best horror. Like, it's crazy to believe Final Destination turns 20 this year. Holy cow, I'm old. But anyway, yeah, Final Destination is just, it was the start of a franchise. Of course, since Final Destination, there's been a few other settings. Like, there's of course a highway setting. I mean, yeah, ever since Final Destination 2, I can never look at whenever I'm in a car with someone, I tell them, and I see like a truck full with full with logs in front of us. I tell the person, can we just scoot the next corner because you just never know what happens. Of course, we had a racetrack moment. We had amusement park scene, but of course, it all started out with a plane scene. And it also ended with a plane scene too, because remember the end of Final Destination 5, it turned out that ended up being a bit of a prequel to the original Final Destination, which that was a really cool twist at the end of Part 5. I'm still hoping we get another one, because the Final Destination movies have always been cool, Like, they get, like, the deaths here are so clever, and Final Destination is something totally different. Like, it's not like a guy in a mask, killing people and all. It's death coming after people, and I think that's like the coolest. It's not really much of like a slasher film or anything. So I think the Final Destination films just are always fun to watch. And yeah, if you guys literally never seen any of the Final Destination films, mostly the first one, I'll say watch the first one before check out the other ones, so you know what you're getting into. But if you guys never even seen Final Destination by now, go give them a shot. I don't know if they're on Shudder or whatnot, but they're fun to watch. Alright, coming in at number 3, Get Off My Plane. We all know what that line is, and that is Air Force One. I mean, Air Force One, starring Harrison Ford as the President of the United States, who ends up trying to take down a group of terrorists on the plane led by, I always mispronounce the villain's name, but it's this villain named Ivan Karsuo. Of course, he was played by Gary Oldman. You also had Wendy Crewson, William H. Macy was in this. The plane scene was pretty cool to watch. Harrison Ford, I've already said this before, but Air Force One is actually probably my favorite non-Indiana Jones and Star Wars Harrison Ford movie. It's like if I was to do my 10 favorite non-Star Wars and Indiana Jones movie that Harrison Ford was in, Air Force One will probably be number one. It's fun. It's pure 90s action entertainment. You got Wolfgang Pearson directed this. Yeah, what not to love about Air Force One? It's just a really fun one, and this film makes me want to see Harrison Ford as a real life president, because he played the president of the United States just perfectly. All right, coming in at number 2, I'm gonna go. Of course, the sequel comes out later this year. Number 2, I got Top Gun. I feel the need. I need more speed. Directed by the great Tony Scott, starring Tom Cruise as hotshot fighter pilot Maverick, who ends up being sent to school, and of course, this is the Top Gun naval fire weapons school that he ends up going to learn how to be a really cool pilot. Of course, you got Anthony Edwards as a Goose. You got Val Kilmer as Iceman. Kelly McGillis was in this, and we got the sequel. Of course, we got Top Gun Maverick coming out this December, which I cannot wait to see. But the first Top Gun is just awesome. Tom Cruise as Maverick is really cool. The plane fire scenes were pretty decent to watch. Top Gun is just it of course got released in 1986 or 87, around the two years. But yeah, Top Gun is just a really awesome one. And Tony Scott, what he was able to do with this was really cool. And yeah, if you guys haven't really seen the original Top Gun, check out the original first, obviously before the sequel comes out this December. as if it doesn't get delayed. But we'll see what happens from now until December. But anyway, yeah, definitely go check out Top Gun. It's a classic. It's a 1980s classic right there. This was one of the movies that really put Tom Cruise on the map, and yeah, not gonna let you down, Goose. This has some really cool lines. Anywho, number one, I'm gonna go with obviously my number one favorite airplane movie has the name in the title. Number one, it is the iconic all-time spoof movie Airplane, starring the great Leslie Nielsen. Of course, this is a bit of a spoof on airplane films, or really mostly disaster movies in general. And you've got the likes of Robert Hayes as the alcoholic pilot, Ted Stryker. You also got anyway, you also got Lloyd Bridges as the air traffic controller. You got Robert Stack in this. You got Leslie Nielsen as the airplane doctor. Of course he's counting them, wishing them good luck, and don't call him Shirley. You guys remember that line? I mean, Airplane is literally don't check out Airplane 2, but the original Airplane is a film that I don't think could get made today. There are some spook movies from the 80s, from that decade, like whether you talk about Blazing Saddles, whether you talk about Airplane. These type of movies would not get made today. There are some really, offensive, like stuff in Airplane that will probably offend people if it got released today. But man, Airplane is just a really fun one. It's really hilarious. Directed by Jim Abrahams. Jim Abrahams. This has some really iconic moments. Leslie Nielsen, probably one of the best roles of his career. Leslie Nielsen was a king of spook movies, and Airplane was one of them. If for some ever reason you literally never ever seen Airplane by now, do yourself a favor. You owe yourself to watch Airplane. When obviously there are spook movies that people don't really find as great today. Like, of course, there are disaster movie, epic movie, and all that. But spook movies were the best when they got released in the 80s. Whether you talk about Airplane, Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles. There were some really iconic spook movies back in the days, and Airplane definitely was one of them. So, I mean, I guess if it wasn't for something like Airplane, we wouldn't have, scary movie, we wouldn't have superhero movie or any of those other spoof films. But yeah, definitely go check out Airplane. The airplane scenes are pretty cool to watch, and yeah, holy cow, I believe Airplane turns 40. Wait, yeah, holy boy, Airplane is 4 years old this year. Jeez, I feel old right there. And I wasn't even born when this film got released. But anywho, yeah, that's pretty much it with the best Airplane films. Alright. Let me do the quick rundown. 10, Red Eye. 9, Sully. 8, Flight. 7, United 93. 6, Snakes on a Plane. 5, The Aviator. 4, Final Destination. 3, Air Force One. 2, Top Gun. And number 1, Airplane. Now, what are some other pretty good ones? Let me pull up the list. Alright. What I probably should have added is the Liam Neeson movie Nonstop. That was actually pretty solid. Let's see. Flight Plan with Jodie Foster was decent. Con Air. Oh, Airport. Let's see. Definitely not Airplane 2. There's a movie called Airplane vs. Volcano. I never even... Yeah, not that horrible Cars spin-off Planes. That movie was horrible. Let's see. Red Tails. That was an okay one. There was Die Hard 2. Executive Decision. The High and the Mighty. Airport 77. The remake of Flight of the Phoenix. The original Flight of the Phoenix. Passenger 57 with Wesley Snipes. That's a really decent one, too. Fly Boys with James Franco. There's The Naked Gun. Alive. Who remembers Soul Plane? I mean, Kevin Hart, Snoop Dogg, Snow Plane is a comic classic. Oh, Hot Shots, which is, I guess, you could say a bit of a spoof of Top Gun. There's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but the whole film doesn't take place on a plane. Let's see. There's also another 9/11 based movie titled Flight 93, which was okay, but a very, like U993, it's a very intense film to watch. Let's see. There's Turbulence. There's also Castaway, but it only takes place on a plane during the beginning, not the whole film. The rest of the film takes place on an island. But hey, that Sully, Saving Private Ryan should show you. Tom Hanks is great, but just never travel with him, you know. But anywho, let me leave it to you guys. What are some of your favorite airplane movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here's Team Movie signing off.